Well, hello.
There. What's up, Tom DeLonge? How you doing, man?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you at right now? It looks beautiful and picture perfect wherever you are.
My interview seat is on this. Look, I got a deck with like this view. So it's kind of, you get to see me, but I get to see something that truly is a little bit more beautiful. Nature.
That ain't bad at all, Tom. Where are you, in San Diego?
Yeah, I'm in San Diego and we got good weather. Little bit of haze coming in off the ocean, but it's going to be a sunny day. We're good.
That's not bad, man. I went to San Diego a couple of years back to see, I've been touring all the baseball stadiums, and Petco was one of my favorites, man. The beer, the hanging vines everywhere, just such a cool vibe going on there.
Yeah, Petco's awesome. And that's like the saddest part about the whole coronavirus is there's no baseball. I'm just like, fuck. Like, that's like my saving, that's like the saving grace of the city or my summer is going to baseball games. So I'm really missing that right now.
Do you just follow the Padres, or do you go around like to other stadiums?
I only follow the Padres. I don't want to know about other teams.
No. But do you go to other like? Have you been to a bunch of other stadiums so far?
I've been to a few. It just depends. Like, I kind of became more of a baseball fanatic over the past few years when I wasn't touring. Mm-hmm. So now that we're starting to tour, I haven't really toured in the summer yet during the season, but I did catch a couple games. I went to the Diamondbacks. Wasn't very big fan of that stadium. I went out and I've been to, there's one other stadium I went to on tour not that long ago, but I can't remember what it was. But Petco's an anomaly because it's new and it's full of great restaurants and it's super clean. And, it's new enough to where all the flooring is that kind of material that gum doesn't stick to and it doesn't stain. So they can wash it. It always looks brand new. It's kind of like what we wish sidewalks were made out of in New York City,
Yeah. No, I remember going there, and like during the day you can, like, we were running, like going exercising through the city, and you could run by the outfield. It's an awesome place, man. I don't blame you one bit for never leaving San Diego ever.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah. We got it pretty good here, at least on the coast. Like if you're near the beach, this is like Narnia, but if you go into the suburbs east from the ocean, then it's not anything more special than whatever. But the coastal area of northern San Diego is pretty out of this world to raise a family and quality of life and health and all that kind of stuff. It's a
Absolutely.
big thing.
And the breweries aren't too bad either.
There's a lot of breweries here if you like alcohol.
A lot of great breweries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tom, let's talk about some music, man, because you guys put out a song. We've been playing a lot on Radio 104.5, and thanks for doing this session for us, man. Just want to say that up front. All That's Left Is Love. It's such a cool message. It's such a song of, like, when you first hear it, it brings a bit of sadness, but then it's hope as well, and all of it. And this is one you wrote, like, right now. Like, it was probably one of the fastest ones you've ever put out, isn't it?
It is. I had the song recorded because we've been recording for a year, so I had it all done except for the vocal track, and I was just inspired to put out something that would kind of stop the cyclical nature of fear and anxiety that everybody was stuck in. Because at the time, the pandemic just started, and everyone's just, oh my God, reading the news all day long. It's like everyone gonna die, So I've been saying this in some of the other interviews. I just think that's what an artist's, that's when we're supposed to do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
is try to put something else out there to help people escape, think differently, believe in something, feel something different, and I'm a big believer in energy. I'm a big believer in consciousness. I always tell people I'm exposed to a lot of really cool science, and it's something I think we're going to find in the human race here shortly, because we're starting to get all the laboratory experiments and the peer-reviewed journals are starting to publish this stuff on consciousness and mind over matter kind of stuff. They're like, wow, that like really is the case. It really matters what you think, So I tell people, like, one of the easiest ways to see that is I did it on a different interview where I was bringing up the IKEA did that thing with their plants. Did you see that video on YouTube? No. IKEA put up 2 trees in their store, and on one tree they said, be mean to this and yell bad things at this tree, and the other one say loving things. And so over like 30 to 60 days or something, the tree that you yell horrible things at died. just
Really?
because of that. Yeah, just because
I
of
never
people.
saw that.
Oh, it's insane, but it's a perfect example of what happens with human beings and our intention. It killed a plant. You know, there's that old movie, Men Who Stare at Goats. You know, that
Hmm.
came from the same thing. They giving a goat a heart attack, you know, by projecting intention, and over time it seemed to have worked. I didn't read that particular report, but my co-founder at To the Stars Academy, Dr. Hal Puthoff, is the founder of the Psychic Spy program at CIA. He's a physicist, and it's the same thing. I mean, he just sent me this huge um, paper, scientific research paper he wrote on how it all works, consciousness physics, and how it affects matter. So this all boils back, anyways, to my song. That's what was on my mind and heart when I put that out. I was, I'm going to sing something that's specific to right now, and hoping that it'll do its little part with the way people feel. You know.
I think it's, you know what, Tom, I think it's a great song. And, you know, with your song, with 21 Pilots Level of Concern, Weezer just put out Hero. You know, we're getting these songs now that are bringing our spirits up. And it's so important to keep our spirits up. You know, keep smiling even if the day's bad. You got to keep moving forward, and we're going to get there to the better side of things very soon.
I believe the same thing. I do. I like that everyone's pulling together, and I like that everyone's putting out good news channels, and these actors are starting good news video blogs, and people are so sick of bad news, and it
Yeah,
shows that we're not going to give up. We're going to change the way people are feeling. We're going to work together on this. So I think it's a really good message, really good thing.
absolutely, man. Dude, I'm on the air, you know, 5-6 days a week, and I can't talk about it anymore. I got to find some positive stuff, and that's all I've been looking for. So thank you for putting the song out. And another thing I wanted to tell everyone was how you did this to help out Feeding America. You've been working with them for a long time, but this is another way to help them to get recognition and everything. Can you tell everyone what they're all about?
Yeah, so Feeding America is an organization that provides food for impoverished families, or kids that only get their only warm meal at school. You know, so school's out. You know, so a lot of these kids aren't even like eating proper meals. And obviously, the United States is seen as a wealthier country, but everyone, you and I both know that there's plenty of poverty in the United States. Just go to certain areas in Detroit or LA, and like you're going to see all of it. But and I've worked with Feeding America for a while. I've been pretty vocal about it. I started donating stuff to raise money for them. Then I've gone to the events, and then I started, you know, handing out food and distributing food to schools. And I did I'm not trying to make it sound like this is something I did every week, but I have worked with them a lot. My daughter
Yeah,
even worked in their warehouse to help doing community service. And so it was a very easy call. I was like, wow, this is like kind of a perfect matchup right now, because they're really providing some relief to families that need it. And they do really good work. I forgot how many families they feed in a week, but it's like millions, you know? So I think it was like a perfect group to match up with.
absolutely. And, you know, it's such an easy thing, Tom, where if you buy the song, if you buy the new song, All We Have Is Love, All That's Left Is Love, sorry. If you buy the song, you're going to donate that money to Feeding America. So everyone, spend $1 and some change. You know where to get music: iTunes, Amazon, everywhere. Get the song, buy it instead of streaming it. Buy the song, help out. It's a win all around.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for saying that.
Absolutely, Tom. Let's talk about some science too, because man, you're making some news lately, my man. We talked last year when your history channel show had come out. And then all of a sudden, that episode led to the Pentagon recognizing, hey, what the To the Stars Academy did, this is an unidentified aerial object that we don't know what it is. So, I mean, that's amazing. You're a part of history now, Tom.
Well, that would be wonderful if I'm more known for helping than breaking the world. A lot of my work with early blink stuff probably did a lot of damage to young people, but you know, look, it's a team sport. To the Stars Academy has upwards of 15 high-ranking officials from CIA and Department of Defense. I might be the chairman of the board, but I'm definitely not the smartest guy there. Everyone has a thing that they do, and it's the team sport that has been breaking this open. So the U.S. government knows what these are. They've been looking at them and studying them for 70 years. They just haven't been as we don't believe that they've been as accountable in some ways with this information as they should be. And so we've created the conditions and the momentum to pry it out of the hands of a few and into the many. And what you're seeing are the fruits of that labor. And what To the Stars Academy does, is more than what people know. I mean, we have the entertainment division. We do a lot of science fiction stuff. I know we have books and television series and features in development that are based on dreams or consciousness or this or whatever. But we also have the UFO stuff. Unidentified, our series on the History Channel, is one of the nonfiction works. But in the science department, we built an artificial intelligence system that can do predictive pattern analysis on enormous batch data to kind of start showing us the who, what, when, why, where of all this stuff. And then we also spend a lot of time setting up the briefings and connecting dots in the Department of Defense to the Hill and getting senators the briefings, bringing people from the Pentagon over to other agencies, other three-letter agencies. And To the Stars Academy has been, we've held many a briefing at those places, and you're getting 20 very high-ranking people from all the departments coming in for this briefing. And what you're finding is maybe only one or two in that room really knew about this, and the other people are like, wait, what? So it's and that is now starting, and the ripples are going faster and faster and faster. So once you kind of catch the government doing something, they can't lie, it's illegal. So them publishing the videos, them admitting UFOs are real, them even mentioning To the Stars and my name as the caveat, this is them just kind of go, yeah, of course, yes, totally, this is real. This is them going, shit, we can't lie. And if we keep lying, all of us can see public hearings coming on CNN, and we're all going to be on the hot seat testifying, and then we're going to go to jail if we get caught lying. So this is the awareness is what forces them to tell the truth and be straight up. Now we're not proposing to out classified programs or damage national security. There are some very serious national security concerns with this. And so those decisions need to be made by the people that are in those positions that are smarter than I am, that have a lot, we always say, to have like an 80,000 foot view of the topic, not just like a 10,000 foot view of the topic. So we're trying to be cognizant of that, but the goal of To the Stars Academy is, communicating all these scientific themes through major motion pictures and television series and whatever, even stuff beyond UFOs. And then also bringing the propulsion out and doing different ways to, decrease the cost of getting into space and new revolutionary ways to travel, not only here on land, sea, water, air, but, in space, and really exploit this stuff. Kind of at the dawn of the internet, when people were like, how can this be used? And everyone's like, the internet, that's just for nerds, Everyone's like, oh yeah, no one's going to buy anything on the internet because they can steal stuff. And then there's PayPal. Search. Well, who cares about search? How is there any money in search? And Google's like, we got some ideas. So
yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at as a company. It's like, this is very real, and what we're doing now is setting up the foundation for the whole world to know about it for the first time. And then once that happens, the amount of money, resources that are going to be plowed into this stuff is going to surpass anything, in my opinion, than we've ever seen, because it's a worldwide issue. And when I mean issue, it's like a real issue. There's negative components to this, but there's also some positives, and we have to attack this the same way we're attacking coronavirus as a world. And so our company is setting the foundation to be the Google, if you will, of this subject, to be there when it starts, to take it forward, and to bring some kind of unity about it, to understand it more than anybody else, to work with various governments, to work with our government, to do it responsibly. And I think that's the exciting part. That's what I'm after.
And I would figure, Tom, what you were saying, if the United States government admits it, the British government, they've seen things. The Russian government, the French, everybody, it's going to all come together.
Well, if you saw this week, Japan, just because of the Pentagon saying that, Japan came out, okay, we know about these too, and we're going to do something. Like, all they've ever been waiting for is the U.S. to take that step. You know, if the United States won't take that step, then they all won't take their step. They look up to us. They kind of go, okay, you guys are in charge of the world economy. You have more PhDs working in government than any of us do. The smaller countries, you guys are the most, we're tended to be thought of as the most stable form of government in the world, but who knows really. But in any case, it matters what we say. So us coming out and doing these things are causing the other countries to go, can we bring our head out of the sand? Can we talk about this now? Are we cool? You know, and that's what's happening. So it's good. It is a history. It is a moment in history. It really is that big of a deal.
And the other stuff that To the Stars is doing, Tom, is there a way, like, if I was in college, is there a way to do any work like internship or anything? I know we have a lot of people that are watching all around the world. Is this something that maybe future scientists, future thinkers can apply for and find out if they can be a part of this?
Yeah. So number one, like anybody that comes to the Stars Academy website and sends a message to me or one of the government guys on the board, we're going to see it if it's important. One of the things that we're gearing up for and we're discussing and taking the meetings on is we're going to start digging into the first studies and experiments for the advanced propulsion stuff, whether it's electromagnetics or it's quantum, something to do with the quantum vacuum, whatever words that are above me. But what we're going to need are different, what we can really use are people that have advanced, machine shops and universities that have physicists and, laboratories where the students can get involved that are on, the path to become a PhD. We can really use all those classes, those universities, and those types of machine shops that can do kind of highly advanced engineering work. So if we can, so anybody that has access to that stuff, we would love for them to reach out to us. It would be a big deal.
It's interesting too, Tom, because, now with the internet and, we see stuff on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and everywhere, people are doing genius things that we've never even thought of just in their garage or in their basement or something. These are the future leaders that are going to get us so far into technology years from now. It's unbelievable.
Look at Steve Jobs. I mean, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs were just tinkering in their own basement. They didn't even go to school and they were taking acid. It's like, you don't really know. And that's the beautiful thing about humanity. It's like, the whole consciousness aspect. I mean, because people forget Angels and Airwaves is a part of To the Stars Academy. I mean, the band was created to be kind of the business card of all this stuff. Those themes, those ideas, that way of thinking and is meant to come to life with the band through the shows. My whole goal has always been you come into the concourse and you experience the science and engineering, and then you go into the show and all the media comes to life. Angels and Airwaves, we put out, an award-winning animation at Toronto Film Festival. We put out a feature film, very art house and meditative, but cool. And now we're working on feature films. Angels and Airwaves scored the Untitled or Unidentified series on History Channel. So all this is meant to play together nicely as the band grows. So it's exciting. I think, that's how I wanted this band to be, is this art project that is doing a much bigger service than just trying to write a hit song. But every once in a while, you just got to write a hit song too. So the band has to be good too. So
the hit songs help fuel. No, I remember when The Adventure came out. We're actually going to play it later on today on Radio 104.5. I remember when that came out, I was like, whoa, this is a new side of Tom DeLonge. This is something completely different. So this is stuff you've been dreaming of for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah. When I started Angels and Airwaves, I remember I'm like, I'm going to be doing movies and TV shows with this music. And everyone's like, you're crazy. Then I came, I'm okay, got the company stood up, and I'm going to put out like 15 books. You're crazy. And then I did, and then I came out and said, okay, and now we're expanding this little art entertainment company into science and aerospace. And we're going to tell you something that's even bigger. And everyone's like, okay, now he's definitely crazy. He lost his mind. He's chasing aliens or whatever. And I mean, I've done everything I said I was going to do. I just, I get it. I'm excited. I'm an ambitious dude. My timelines get a little fucked up. Trying. The stuff's hard to pull off, but I've done it all, and I think now people are kind of going, oh my God, he is kind of crazy, but fuck, everything he says is coming true. Maybe he's not crazy. Maybe he's just forward thinking and knows shit we don't know or something, you know. Whatever the reason is, I'm a pretty savvy guy. You know, I don't make dumb decisions. I'm not always right, you know, I fuck up plenty, but on the big things, you know, like I didn't just walk away from a giant rock band to go chase objects in the sky. No, I attended briefings, made partnerships. I got invited into something that is extremely profound, you know, and it's like when you're a part of something like that I'm a part of, it completely takes you over, heart, soul, mind. Like, oh my God, I'm so lucky to be sitting in a chair where I can actually affect the world in a really good place if I keep working really hard and I have a little bit of luck and I keep attracting talent. And so I understand why it takes people a little bit of time to understand what I'm doing and what it's all about. And I do get that the internet is about taking shots and making fun of things. It's a way people get by and make their own lives feel better, is by making fun of people and whatever. But what's really cool is over the past couple of years, yeah, that people are like kind of stopping. Wow, this is a very real thing, and no one's doing that anymore. Now everyone's taking it very seriously, like yourself. And I've been about this type of stuff since day one. I mean, when Blink signed to a major label, the very first check we got, I think was like 10 grand. And I could be wrong about that, but I think it was like 10 grand, and we had to split it up because they basically say, we'll give you just enough for you to record your record. Mm-hmm. And we might've had just a little bit enough to split up. So in any case, we each probably got like 3 grand or something. I don't even know what it was, but I took $1,500 and I went down and I bought a computer, a desktop, only to research UFOs. So this is before Blink has even been around for like 5 years. And, you know, it's the first money I ever had. And I was into this. I was documenting all the data to try to find patterns and understand. I had a whole shelf with these like giant thick binders of all this stuff. And I was completely immersed in it. My entire career of Blink. I mean, ask Mark and Travis. They're like, God, this guy won't shut up. He's crazy, you know. But even now, you know, Travis and Mark and we still talk. And even now, it's just like, you know, all right, well, congratulations, brother. You know. And I go, well, thanks, man. It's not. I don't really look at it as like an ego thing. Like, oh my God, I'm validated. I look at it like, okay, this is hard for a lot of people. I mean, my mom's one of them. She's a very religious woman. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's hard for people to kind of go, are you telling me that everything I believe in and everything I know in my heart is not real? No, I'm not telling you that
not at all. No.
I'm just telling you, this is as real as the cell phone that you use every day. And we have to figure out where it fits in. And we have a lot of knowledge about how it could fit in, but none of us are saying we have all the facts. But that's the point of the company, is to help. One of the issues is that the government, they don't have the basements that this is super classified and they're studying this. They can't just call up like Italy and say, what do you guys know about this? You know, they can't do that. It's illegal in the framework of the Department of Defense. So what they have to do is they have to run it up the flagpole all the way up to the Secretary of Defense's office, ask them to call Italy, and so on. And they don't want to do that because then it kind of just leaks and outs what they're working on. So they've been largely stuck. They call it stovepiped in the top secret national security structure, the way the clearances work and the way they sequester and compartmentalize. You know, you can have 2 basements working on things where they really need to talk to each other, but they're not allowed to. And they're not allowed to go ask Italy that had a major event in the Mediterranean where things were catching on fire and UFOs are everywhere. I know this because Italy invited us over and we met with Italian intelligence and they put us up on the military base and we stayed there. And they gave us a whole bunch of material. They gave us a whole bunch of reports, Italian intelligence reports, including, you know, a UFO. I was chasing a helicopter and there was an event, the helicopter crashed and the admiral was on the helicopter, and it's like crazy. And you're like, well, how do we get them talking to the people over at the Pentagon in a better way? And we can provide that service as a civilian company. We can work with all the different countries, and then we can figure out what we need to figure out. We don't have those same rules that government employees might have. And so we've been doing that with South American countries, European countries, you know, so we're kind of at the center of this information, and it's all starting to flow to the Stars Academy. And so I kind of look at it again, like when we sequenced DNA for the first time, everyone's like, well, why are you doing that? Why are you taking 15 years to figure out all these amino acids and shit? He goes, well, ask me when I cure cancer. You know,
Yeah.
you got to put the work in on the forefront to have it really make sense down the road. So part of us building this artificial intelligence system is we need to know who's seeing these things, where they're seeing them, what they're doing in the air, and where they're coming from, what time of day, like all this stuff. And we'll start to kind of go, okay, every Thursday morning, we see something come in on this latitude, this longitude, it flies in this direction at this fast. If you're 35 to 43 and you have Native American in you, you're probably going to see it and you're going to have a mark on your body. You know, whatever it might be. I'm making shit up. But that's what we're narrowing it down to. And that's why it's so important, because the AI system also inputs weather data, FAA flight tracking data, animal migrations, all the old documents that are unclassified from Homeland Security, CIA, DOD. It can also have religious texts in there. You know, was the Star of Bethlehem a UFO, or was it a star like the sun? You know, it's like thinking that and trying to find the patterns of what people witnessed all the way back into ancient texts forward. And this is really going to help us create a scientific methodology to create basically some version of a canon, you know, that works on what the facts are about what these machines are doing.
I think that's really fascinating, Tom, that like you can bring all these countries together. Like, is this something you've discussed with everyone at To the Stars? Like, hey, should we have a conference and bring some of these people together, or are you not officially allowed to do that?
No, we're allowed to do. There's things I'm not allowed to talk about, but there's
fair enough.
But we're allowed to do that, and there's been a lot of discussions. Most of our meetings are sensitive right now that we do with other countries and our own country. Everyone knows we're in a contract with the U.S. Army on the material that we think is purported to be from a crash disk in the late 40s. We do know there's a lot of anomalous, a lot of anomalous features about this piece, and so we're chasing that. And that's about all I can say with that. But you know, part of the allure to the government for getting in, or at least that part of the government, is because of our ability to move really fast and collect lots of material. I mean, we have, I don't know how many pieces. We probably have 15 to 18 pieces from all different crashes. We have the most, we have the largest library of physical hardware from purported crashes than anyone else, any private company on Earth. But we don't know which ones are real yet. We don't know which ones, you know, we don't know if it's from something truly exotic or not. You know, it's a very expensive, time-consuming process to prove it.
Sure.
You're doing isotope analysis, you're looking for ablation, heat ablation, you're looking for molecular structuring, you're looking for its resistance or its capacity to pass through certain types of frequencies. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, you're in the 1400s and a Corvette drives by and drops a door handle, and all you got is a door handle, and you're trying to understand.
Like, what?
Somebody said, I saw this glowing red thing. It was like as red as the sun, and it came by on the ground, and there's dust everywhere. It was loud, but it looked like there was somebody inside of something, you know, and that's all you got. But here's a door handle, but you don't know it's a door handle. You're like, whoa, is this door handle? You're like looking at it, and you're like, whoa, is this the engine? You know, so it just takes time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of a system. It's part of a system. The pieces we have are part of a system, and we got to figure out what is that system and how does it speak to this piece? What does this piece do? It just, you know, it's difficult.
Which branch of the tree, which leaf is that connects to this and connects it all together?
That's right. And people also need to know that, you know, again, Angels and Airwaves is an arm, a branch of the tree of what we're doing and what I'm doing. I mean, I don't say that lightly. I mean, I really mean it. That's how it started. Mm-hmm. I was making poking fun the other day because I was like, Angels and Airwaves has got to be the only space rock band where the guy left to go start an aerospace company, you know, and then like bust out the space secrets and then come right back and go, okay, let's keep going. You know, it's like, let's go. At least I'm really living what I preach, I guess, is my point.
And Tom, are you having a good time with it? That's the most important thing.
Oh my God. If you even knew the meetings I've been in, oh my God, it's like wild. It's so fascinating. It's so like all encompassing. I've been scared out of my mind. I've been so jazzed. I thought I was going to levitate, you know, I mean, that's just, there's so many emotions in excitement and confusion and just wonder. You know, a lot of people go, what's this new Angels record about? And I go, it's about wonder. It's about expanding your mind to realize that, you know, there's a lot more to the physical plane we live on and we're experiencing things on than just going to your job on the radio or me going downstairs in my studio trying to write a cool guitar riff. It's like, it's way bigger than that. It's almost like you kind of go, if you meet somebody that is like a staffer on someone running for president and you go, what's your life all about? Oh, my life is just about looking at a spreadsheet and sending out stickers in the mail. No, it's a much, you're a part of an organism that's going to grow and morph, and this guy's going to lead the free world and it's going to change the world. And if you can do your job to the best of your ability, the organism as a whole will do wonder, will do good, you know, and that's how I feel with humanity, you know, and we just don't know. We're so stuck. We're in traffic. I got to be at work. I'm arguing with my boss. My wife hates me. My mortgage is too expensive. My kids are hungry. I can't afford to feed them. So, you know, everyone's so stuck and they're forgetting, you know, some of the, or they don't even know it yet. You know, some of the really coolest parts about being a human being are just starting to sprinkle out of the laboratories where we're going, oh my God, oh my, consciousness is like a big, big deal. Like if we open the bandwidth to consciousness in our minds through meditation or prayer or whatever, it doesn't matter. Physics doesn't care. All physics wants you to do is like, you're here and you have access to this infinite sea of information and love and light, and how you use it really matters, you know? And my partner, Hal Puthoff, created the Psychic Spy program for the CIA. I've been saying this on every interview. It's why I wrote the song, All That We Need Is Love. It's like, they figured out that anybody can tap into this through closing your mind down. You know, my mom does it. She's super religious. She calls it praying. You know, my fiance does it. She calls it meditating. She, you know, you can call it praying or meditating, but it's the same exact thing. Shut your mind down. You open up that pipeline to consciousness, to the source, and you can literally do anything. So in the government, I mean, they were finding nuclear weapons. They were finding kidnapped officers. They were finding terrorist leaders hiding in basements someplace. They even had these guys looking for Saddam Hussein. And they were actually, it was working. Like, I don't remember that 60 to 70% of the time. They were getting really good at it. And we can do that as human beings. And so once we learn these things about who we are and what we're capable of, it's going to be wild. It's going to be like, you know, when you feel so down and you feel so stuck and you feel like there's no way out, you literally will be able to calm your mind, take a deep breath, go into that, and you'll get information. You'll get ways to deal with it. You'll get responses. You know, my mom says she's getting a response back from God. Someone who's meditating is saying they're getting it from the source. Well, it's the same thing, you know, whatever it is, it's the same thing, you know. And I think this is the kind of thing that's going to like really pull everyone together, and it's going to make it a better world. And so my art project called Angels and Airwaves is all about that. It's all about all these things. It's about, you know, let's break out of the box that we're in, and let's do it together. And once we find out that things are visiting our skies, that are coming to this planet, or may have been in this planet all along, but they're hiding, wink, wink, who knows? But I think we're going to figure out, like, oh my God, we all got to come together. It doesn't matter if you're black. It doesn't matter if you're white. It doesn't matter if you're Native American or you're Asian. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is we're on this tiny little blue marble sitting in a sea of blackness, and there's something way, 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 way more advanced than us, and it's coming here doing something. We better wake the fuck up quick. And once we do that, I think it's going to be a better world. You know, I really do.
I think, and also, Tom, I think it's great that you're able to use Angels and Airwaves as the handshake to introduce people to, hey, we're doing all this stuff too. Like, music's a great way to get everyone to come together. And now, okay, let me show you what else is going. It's like when I go to a show, who knows when that'll happen again? Can't come soon enough. But like, like the voting organizations are there to register you to vote, just to say, hey, come on over, let me talk to you for a second, any of that stuff. I think it's great that you can use Angels and Airwaves to do that for all the work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. I mean, that's the goal. That's always kind of what I had in mind. And, you know, rock musicians have a responsibility to be themselves. So when you look at a rock musician, their only job is to really know who they are and put themselves in the music. And then if you connect with that guy, then you want to dress like them, or you want to listen to other bands like that, or you want to hang out with people, you know, that want to, like, you know, be a part of that scene. That's how you get the punk scene, or the heavy metal kids, or the hip hop kids. Now things are blending together, but there's still these kind of groupings of people that for identity's sake. And you don't see that with actors. You know, actors play parts in movies, and movies are so powerful. And it's a great art form, but you don't really know who George Clooney is, like,
right?
You know, and that, because you don't want to. You want to believe his character. But in rock and roll, you need to know who they are, or else you can't really buy into what they're talking about, the poetry that they're singing. And I that's why I think I'm kind of meant for this gig, because if anything, hate my music or not, you know, most people kind of know who I am, because of the legacy of Blink-182 was so personality driven that you kind of learned about who these guys were to some degree, you know, more so than others. And
sure.
I think that's come in handy with this stuff. Once people realized the government was acknowledging me and the work of To the Stars Academy, and they're coming out and doing all, I mean, people kind of go, whoa, okay, so wow, what he's doing is real, and we already kind of know him and understand him. So let's take a deeper dive. You know, that's the goal.
Well, Tom, let me, I know I don't want to, I mean, we could talk all afternoon. I know you probably have a bunch of other interviews and everything to do. So let me just wrap up and ask you what everyone's been asking. Any timeline on the new album or the movie along with it?
Yes, we're working. So coronavirus definitely put a lot of issues with movie production and television production, all that kind of stuff. I mean, even Unidentified season 2 on History Channel that follows my company around doing the things it does. I mean, that got shortened a couple episodes less because we just couldn't film everything. Concerts aren't happening either. So I think the plan is, tentatively, is we're going to start releasing the first single, because all that we need is All That's Left Is Love is that's not like the first single to the album, you know, but it's now gaining speed on radio and it's starting to do this thing. I mean, I'm so thankful for that. But the actual real first single, the real first video and all that stuff, we think is going to start popping around fall. Okay. And then hopefully be able to put all this stuff on sale by Christmas for the spring. But who knows, because every band is going to try and tour at the same time. So I'm not totally sure how that all comes together. But the album's just about done. I have Alon downstairs waiting for me right now in the studio. We have to keep 6 feet apart, so there's no more kissing in the studio. I mean, there's been a lot of really, like, hard, hot, sweaty sexual tension in the band.
A lot of
glancing. We're doing okay. Yeah, it's just how it is. It's just how it is.
Okay, so fall, hopefully, is when we're going to get some stuff going. And the other thing, Tom, I got to ask. You brought her to attention, the little girl that sang, I Wonder What's Inside Your Butthole. When you get a chance, will you go sing that with her? Could that happen?
Hell yeah. You know, I've had a lot of people that have been asking me to make that into a real song. And my problem is this. There's two sides of me, right? There's this whole punk rock rebellious kid that did that and does that. And then there's this whole side of me that's involved with national security stuff and, you know, aerospace. And so it's kind of like when this kid does something, it could really hurt this. Like, I have all these national security journalists from the New York Times, Washington Post. They all follow me because they've been breaking the stories of To the Stars Academy and all this stuff. And I always think, what would they think if I did that? You know, all the music fans are like, that's the Tom we know. And then all these other people are like, I'm supposed to believe you when you come out with all this important stuff and you're singing songs about buttholes? I'll be all, look, man, I get it. I'm a complicated dude, you know?
There are many facets to Tom DeLonge.
Many facets, yeah.
You know what? You're your own master, but you have to serve many of them too, Tom. That's the way it is.
Yes, that's true. That is true. Go on, brother.
Well, Tom, thank you, dude. This was a lot of fun, and thank you for doing this Radio 104.5 session for us. Everyone, again, I can't stress it enough. Take the dollar and some change. Buy the new song, All That's Left Is Love. Help Feeding America. Get a great Angels and Airwaves song. We're going to have a lot of fun with you guys when the time comes. And everyone that's involved in science, we've talked about so much today. It's been very enlightening. Anyone that's involved in science, math, anything, look into To the Stars and see if maybe you can get involved for college, for something down the road. They're looking for you. You know?
We're looking for it. Thank you so much, man. We'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you, brother. This is a lot of fun. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye.